Okay, so where we left off last, guys, whoever's listening in right now, you've probably just come into in the middle of a conversation as we do here on the End Goal podcast, but welcome back to the show. Today we have Cam. Cam is one of the homies, been a homie, will be a homie, and he is back with us to talk and yap. So we talked about this last week about the structure of the podcast and how one of the things I think would be really cool is quotes. Because for the amount that I read, we love a good banger quote. I think quotes stick with us a lot.
Yes, sir. Let's do
So the
it.
first one, the idea is that it takes a whole host or a scene of people to bring great things to life. Sorry, I blinked there for a second. So the myth
You're
is
good.
that every genius was a lone genius, right? You hear about like Einstein, or you hear about maybe like, well, I don't want to say people like Einstein or Beethoven are like those greats because sometimes a music composer is just a fucking lone genius. But at the same time, even a music composer, as genius as they are, if they're making the best composition ever, they still need their orchestra to perform it.
hmm
They still need the people who make the instruments to make them well, right?
hmm
So there's this I so the myth is just like there's no such thing as there's not there's not a lone genius. There's a genius who is surrounded by a host of people who makes that genius shine. I like that quote a lot. I like that idea a lot because I think it like
I think it's a great quote.
yeah, I think it I would love to get your thoughts on it though. What do you think about that first?
Um, yes, everything. Yeah, you can't do anything alone. Yeah, it's hard. You cause also alone gives you only one perspective. I feel like I my personal. I'm not calling myself a genius or anything, but my personal like way of going by things is I will get inspired by something. I structure it out to make. I'm like, can this actually work? Is this an actual thing? Can this work? Cool. I see if I can work, and I'll talk to people who I think in different ways. I have one guy who's a negative Nancy. He knows how to pull. He knows how to ask every question for every hole possible. Like he will, if there's a problem in your logic, he will find that issue very easily. And I'm like, bro, and I was like, but he helps me with that side of it though. You know what I mean? Every time I have an idea, I send it to him. He finds like 5 or 10 like holes in my plan. And I'm like, oh well, yeah, I need to fix
Let
those
me go
before
fix
anything else
those. Yep.
happens.
Yep.
But yeah, but then I fix them. You know what I mean? And then he has
Mm-hmm.
like any other problems he have. I also know what are real problems to me and what are problems that I'm like, I don't think I care too much about this problem. So
Mm-hmm.
I know also how to like fish through that. I still ask him every time though, because the one sometimes I things I don't care about, something I should have cared about. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
always ask, but I've
Yeah.
always know too, like this is a problem I really want to fix. This is a problem I don't really care about. I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Like
Mm-hmm.
we know about this problem, but I don't think anyone else is even gonna notice this is a thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That kind of energy. I have people who are also helping me with the ideas of like who maybe they're good at a topic. You know what I mean? That's like on a person like you give them a topic and they can go crazy on this topic. Like if I have a category for one thing, I have a few friends who I can ask. I'm like, what can be categories for this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what can be categories for this? Like what
Yep.
are some good ideas I can put in these different categories? Yeah. So it's like it's community for real. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I know how to execute the ideas. I know how to put them together, but I always need help with like making the idea that much better because the things I just don't. I know I can do a lot. I can't do everything. I
Yep.
know people are better than me. It's so many different things that I just know who to ask, who are better than me at those things. I feel like, and just
Mm-hmm.
then when it comes together, it's just like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
it's all of us, not just me. It's all of us,
Mm-hmm.
literally all of us.
Yeah.
And I think that's also what brings it. Also, I think that's what makes me people also care about it a little more too. Just they're involved with it. That's also it's a community thing. I shouldn't just be doing everything. The teams I do, I shouldn't be doing everything. It's a we situation. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a me situation.
Yeah.
I've always felt like I'm just the one who facilitates things. I don't care about being the one who does everything because I'm like it's you know what I mean. There's no
Yeah.
point
Fair.
of like having that kind of ego because I'm like I don't need. It's gonna be better with everybody else versus just me. It'll
Mm-hmm.
be better with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah.
like that's a big thing that I always think about too. Is yeah, make sure everyone is involved. Make sure I can get people asking people questions like, hey, how's this flyer look? You know, I talk to the
Mm-hmm.
girls. I'm like, hey, yo, would you come to this event? You know what I mean? Like what is this kind of flyer to attract to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because some people really particular on that kind of stuff too. Like even advertising purposes, some people really particular on how things look
Yeah.
when they want like the flyer means a lot to people. You know what I mean? If it's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
flyer, people are like, oh, what is this? Let me look at this. You know?
You know, funny you say that. It just reminded me, like, so a lot of the times when I'll like try and make videos or make clips or something like that, I usually don't because I do have an ego that is very easily bruised. But in the past, when I've like really tried to get out of myself and like try and make something good, I'll either go to like I'll go to Ayushi, I'll go to Canvas, and I'll say, watch
Hmm.
this thing for me, give me feedback. And just recently, I was trying to record a new style of clips for like the podcast side, and I just took one thing and I sent it into the Discord with the guys, and I was like, give me your feedback. And everybody gave me like the little things that of the feedback, and I think like, okay, that was actually a good thing I did because it will help me make that thing better. I was just recently like I recently I'm trying to go back to long form YouTube videos for the booktube and making them a bit more like better edited, like motion graphics, like B-roll, things like that to keep it engaging and keep it shorter, less than around 10 minutes or less. So I sent the first video to Canvas. I was like, can you help me figure out some like background music for this, like background audio and stuff like that? And he was talking to me, he was asking questions, and by the end of it, he was like, I don't think you need background audio. The sound effects sound fine. And you if you have an intro and an outro that have music, you just keep those. And I don't think you need and so like kind of like working on this with him like back and forth, throwing like throwing the ball back and forth. I was like, okay, so I think this is like a decent package. And then the next one that I'll do will be the same way. Like, what was this engaging enough? Where did you get bored of? Or should I add something here? Should I add something there kind of thing, right? Asking different people to your point of because everybody has a different preference and a taste.
Hmm. I'll say, are you asking people who also do think people who do like one of the things that you do, like in the sense of like, have you asked somebody who makes clipping for like a living? Have you asked somebody who does make more long term content, long form content?
I
You know what I
haven't.
mean?
I don't
I feel
have
like that would be a
a
good
network.
way.
I don't have that network yet. While I do have friends who create content, it's all short form. I don't really have friends who create YouTube videos. I haven't built that network
Have
yet.
you?
I think that's like next step
Mm,
of like finding people who would actually be open to sharing their like feedback and stuff with me and all that stuff. Because so the reason why I've been going to Yush is because she watches a lot of like just social media slop, but she like watches a lot of that attention grabbing things. So in the
the
and what
slop,
it
yes.
is the slop, but like she loves it. It's the memes, it's the funny stuff, and you know she's just a natural, just a consumer. She doesn't really make things,
Mhm.
and so if part of my audience is not people who also make things, it's people who consume things, people who read books and just consume book content online. I want to make it in such a way that a consumer would just be interested. So the most recent video, one of the most recent videos that I posted this week is going like viral again. And so I showed it to her and she said, and I was like, I showed her the video and she watched it all the way up to the point where I started talking about the books specifically, which was still like 45 seconds in. So she was like, okay, now I'm disengaged because now you're talking about specific books versus like the first 45 seconds was like high level, engaging, funny, comedic, like just commentary. And so I was like, okay, cool. For a consumer like her, at this point, she may drop off if they're not plugged into the reading scene, right? But then if someone who is plugged
Mm,
into the reading scene
mhm,
will go to that point and then finish the rest of the video.
mm.
So I know that that's a good video in a sense. With Canvas,
That's
sorry,
good. No, facts, facts,
right?
facts. That's great.
So with Canvas, it's a similar thing, but he's off of social media, but he still watches YouTube and things like that. And he's, you know, he's he's more of a creative. So he'd understand like, okay, do you see this vision that I'm trying to do here? Do you see the motion that I'm trying to do here? Does this sound effect actually sound good, or is it just me? Does this like in transition work, or is it just me? In the practice clip that I was doing, he actually sent me. He was like, I think your angles are off here because you have one camera like this and one camera like this. I think you need to raise one or lower the other. And then like he actually like was like drawing out angles to make it more consistent and things like that. And I was like, that's awesome, right? That's exactly what I need, and I need to be comfortable, you know, taking that feedback and then going back and reiterating it on it. And that's where I love this idea of like it does take a village um, to it takes a scene of people to make a genius shine. In the book, they call it a scenius, as so it's like scene genius. It takes a scene of people to make the genius shine.